Hey everyone, welcome back to Kubota Farm. We are in East Vineland, New Jersey. Thunder, just opportunistic thunder. It is a rainy September, but I do want to wish you all a happy new year. Hope you're having a wonderful New Year's weekend. Wrapping up the holiday season over here with the pigs. So I was taking a look at our pig food situation and I reminded myself somehow or other, I usually forget this kind of thing, that we actually had canola in our silo. So I thought, you know what? The pigs can use canola. But I'm trying to get the balance of food a little bit better for the pigs right now. Canola is considered a protein, I believe. So I brought some canola over. So I thought, let's go ahead and let's dump some canola in the pigs for the pigs. Oh, they're happy. Let's take a look what that does for us as far as their food goes. So that added 10,000 in protein, which is good. And then I had the store deliver some corn as well. Whoops, that was a little messy. Had the storm deliver some corn as well because that is, I believe their base food is corn. And we're trying to get that base food up because they want 50% base food. Now, we could just buy straight pig feed, which would be fine, but I would like to get things balanced out a little bit more and hopefully get to a point where we're not actually buying, food for the pigs. We're able to produce. At the end of the day, I don't really mind buying food for animals to an extent because the game itself makes it honestly relatively affordable to do so. Um, but if it can be a byproduct, of crops that you have and stuff, obviously that's probably a better way to go. However, I have seen in a few occasions where some people have shown that you actually do better by buying food for animals in some situations. Um, that's getting a little bit better. We could probably buy another thing of corn. In some situations, you're better off actually buying food and selling your crops. Financially, it makes more sense. And maybe it depends on whether you're playing easy mode or if you're playing, medium or what difficulty in general you're playing. Let's throw one more maize in here, Adam. I don't know if it'll take this whole pallet or not. So I wanted to do this New Year's deal. I just wanted to get a video out this weekend. Nothing really special about this particular one other than um, we are going to probably be skipping ahead pretty quickly through the winter months since we are basically at a time now where we're just wanting to sell. Sell, sell, sell. Well, that turned out pretty well. Okay, good. So our base food is getting close to 50%. 25% for grain, 20% for protein. Our root crops are far too high, but they're gradually um, working their way down. So we'll get there eventually. Pigs are happy though. They're healthy. They're eating. They're pooping. They're reproducing. They're doing what pigs do, I guess. So we can be pretty happy about that. And that's all we really need to do, I think, here in September. Um, I don't really think we have much else going on. Our grass has at least another month to go before we can get a cut in on this grass. It says ready to harvest, but if you look below that, the growth stage is actually forage, and we want that to be harvest stage. So one more stage and this will be ready to go. Our corn is looking good down there, if you can see that down yonder. That's growing nicely. Our poplar is coming up again for us, which is really good. And of course, over here we've got our soybeans that are still doing their thing. So we're getting there. Slowly but surely, we are getting there. So let's go back home. We'll take a quick look at our chickens. Wow, they're doing really well. We could probably move some of these eggs over to the shelter over there, couldn't we? But I think there's room. I don't know how, if it'll take 3 deep or what it'll do. So we could grab an egg pallet and bring it over here. I think eggs are November, if I remember correctly. I think I looked before I started the recording. So yeah, eggs November. So I think actually that is probably going to be between eggs in November, and I think canola is also November. And I thought, we could probably sell a load of canola if we want to save some for the pigs, but still make some money off of that. It's kind of up to how we want to run this thing, but let's go ahead and sleep through September and let's get to October. Nothing much really going on in October, I don't think, other than we'll just take a quick glance over our animals and make sure they're okay. Chickens finished off that pallet, started another pallet there. Awesome. We can actually grab one more pallet of eggs. It's been a while since I've sold this many eggs, so I'm not entirely sure what kind of money we're looking at there, but yeah, it should be good. Let's take a quick look at our food situation then. So our pigs, again, could use more corn, so we could probably grab another pallet of corn. Grain, we have grain somewhere. I think we could grab some grain for them. How are our sheep doing? Sheep could handle a month or two more, so I think they're okay. We could check on the wool to make sure there's space over there. And base food, we will grab our cracked corn and put as much of that as we can in there. So the base food is 60%. That's still too low. I put way too much grain in there to begin with. Sunflowers, a little bit low. Let's see if it'll take the rest of these sunflowers. Hopefully it'll take a good chunk of them. All right, that'll work. I think as long as this health bar is green, we are close enough. So that'll do the job. Bring one more crate of eggs over here. And let's go over to the farm. And what were we going to do? Oh, piggies. Yeah, the pigs. So pigs, 25% grain, so they are a little bit low on grain. We could just let them eat some more for another month. And maybe that's just what we will do, is let them go for another month. Let our sheep go for another month. That's October. Let's go check one more thing out. I know we're kind of moving along kind of quickly, but this is how things go right now. Oh yeah, we definitely have a grass cutting to do. We might as well get this extra grass cut in. I mean, it's kind of doesn't make sense to not do it. It's a lot of money sitting there. And really, if we just get it cut, we don't have to do anything else with it straight away. It's just a matter of getting it cut. And then we can worry about baling or picking up or whatever it is we want to do from there. And I actually just loaded the latest release of Courseplay off of GitHub. I think it was put out just a couple, 2-3 days ago, so I didn't notice any large changes or anything, but I generally like to try to stay up with the latest. Since you're on PC, you can do that. You're not stuck to, let's see, first waypoint, kickoff, say yes. Since you're on PC, you can go with the GitHub. There we go. That's what I wanted to see. You can go with the GitHub release instead of the in-game mod hub release, if you want to. I don't know how often they're planning on updating the in-game mod hub version. I think the note kind of alluded to the fact that they were only going to do it through major releases and not step releases. Man, I always forget to double check, so I'm glad it's on Swath. I always forget to double check that. And there's one other thing I should check. Actually, we can look there in the lower right in the tools menu there. It looks like I usually remember to maintenance our stuff after we're done with it, so I think maintenance is looking okay on that. So we're going to let Courseplay go ahead and take care of that mowing, and we'll clean it up. We'll clean it up a little bit later. But until then, we might as well, since we've got a little bit of time, we might as well take advantage of that, and we can put some food down for our animals, and we'll go over and we'll check the wool situation over at the sheep and make sure that we're not running out of room there. I doubt we are. I stay on top of moving that wool on the regular. All right. Let's load up with grass. I'm pretty sure the sheep will take a full trailer load of grass. So now the holiday season is done. Christmas has come and gone. New Year's, by the time you're seeing this, New Year's, we're in 2023. Do you do the whole, you know, what do they call them? Boy, the name, I always forget things right at the end. Resolutions. Oh man, I don't know why I went this way. Do you make resolutions for the new year? I usually don't. I think about it. Like, I think about the upcoming year, and if there's anything I really, you know, am thinking about in particular, you know, is do I want to do this or that? But I usually don't really make resolutions, to be honest with you, because if I do, I usually forget what they were anyways within a week, if not within the next day. But I do know some people that are pretty up on, you know, doing the whole resolution thing. Let's change this to, actually, nope, didn't want to do that. Let's change this to the, oh, what am I looking for? Grain door, that's what I'm looking for. It's slower, but at least we don't hit the roof. There we go. So yeah, I don't know. I used to do resolutions. I think I used to be a little bit more focused on doing resolutions, to be honest with you, but not anymore so much. I don't know. I just want to survive, which is probably kind of sad. You know, when you get to that point where you're like, you know what, man, I'm just happy if I survive the year. All right, if nothing, you know, if nothing significantly bad happens, I'm happy with that. You know, I'm happy with that. Just make it another year without some tragedy, and that would be more than adequate for me. I do want to, as far as, you know, Farming Simulator goes, I'm looking forward to seeing the new DLCs that are going to be released. That's always kind of fun to see. I think the sheep are as well. I'm excited about that. I'm excited to see, you know, what Giants has in store if we have new brands, which I would think we're going to at least get one new brand, I would think. I'm excited about getting onto another map, actually. I know that we're doing East Vineland here. We also do Throwback Thursday, which is on the old family farm. I'm kind of already getting a little bit excited about another new map and switching something out. I don't know how much longer we'll be here on East Vineland. I think a while longer. I think we have a little ways to go, but Old Family Farm for Throwback, I don't know. You know, maybe a bit more, and then we'll pick some other throwback map that we can mess around on. How you doing, sheep? Did you like that food? That make you happy? Let's see where they're at. Oh, that made them very happy. Absolutely. Wow, and it left us exactly 3,000. Huh. Not bad. Exactly 3,000 liters. Well, since we're over here, we might as well just go ahead and dump it into our... We can dump that into our fermenting silo. Let's take a peek. Oh man, yeah, Courseplay makes short work out of this field for us. Actually, that Kubota mower makes short work out of it, really, doesn't it? That's kind of nice. So do we want to consider picking something up for the pigs or not? What are our pigs looking like? Base food is fine. So much. I mean, we need them to go through more of this root crop. I suppose if we did bring anything over for them, we could bring over a little bit of grain. But let's not. Let's just let them eat through what they have. Chickens are in good shape. Pigs are in good shape. So I'd say as far as our animals go, I think their food is... I think we can stay happy with that. I think the sheep would make it 3 months between before being bone dry. I think somewhere around that 3-month mark is kind of where they would draw the line of starvation. Looks like our Kubota's just about got this wrapped up, actually. Like I said, if we can just get this mowed, we actually don't even have to, really don't have to worry about picking it up straight away. I guess we could throw it in our fermenter. Silage is December. Actually, maybe it wouldn't be the worst idea. Let's check out silage. I think might be December. Silage is December, and it looks like actually January is a tick higher. So we probably could pick up this grass and at least get our fermenting silo. Boy, kind of makes me tempted to do that. That would give us even more silage. That would give us even more silage to sell. I mean, as it stands right now, we're gonna make bank on silage, I think. But with our forage wagon and with silage additive, man, we might be in good shape. All right, let's fire up this bad boy. And we'll do our cleanup strip here. Oh, and I did look the other day. It's so obvious. Well, it is obvious and it isn't obvious. But I've been wondering if there is a way to delete custom fields that you make with Courseplay. And of course there is. And unless you're really, unless you're clicking on exactly the right thing, you wouldn't see it. So it's kind of obvious, but it's not obvious, if that makes sense. Let's go ahead and wrap up our mower. And I'll show you how to do it real quick here. It's actually really, really simple. If you go into your Courseplay, actually, if you go into your jobs screen, and you'll see down here that there is no delete, but if you click directly on the field, the CP-1, your custom field number, delete custom field. That's how simple it is. If you click around it, you won't get that. But if you click right on the right on the number, the custom field number, then you'll get the delete. And I'm not really sure if I want to delete it. It's actually quite good. It's just that one side over there that it would be nice to expand. But I feel like I'd probably end up just making it worse than it is, and I might as well just leave it, and I could just do that last strip. No biggie. But for future reference, it's that easy to delete a custom course play field if you do make them. I don't make them very often, but they are handy in the situation like we have here. Let's go ahead and do repairs on our tractor and our mowers, so we know that those are good to go for next time. Not entirely filthy. Not too bad. Let's see, where is our M8? Is our M8 attached to our trailer? Yeah, our other M8 here. Let's drop our trailer. And you know, I think it does make sense to pick this grass up and get it in and get it fermenting. Even if we don't get all of it fermented before silage sale comes, we will definitely have more to sell. So we might as well do it and get it out of the way. It looks like we are full on our silage additive. Excellent. I don't know if we go through a full tank of silage additive on this field or not. I can't remember if I did. Really, really like this Chrome trailer quite a bit. It's quite nice. Let's go ahead and lower our pickup head. Get those, get the pickup turned on. Like seeing those brushes or the tines down there going to town. Not a really complicated piece of machinery, right? Oh, I do see. I don't think I noticed that before. I didn't notice that before. How that's animated. The inside floor on the trailer is kind of, what is it doing? It's turning. That chain is turning. You can see that chain is turning. And I'm assuming that's intended to move the floor back and forth to try to keep the load a little more evened out. Interesting. Very, very nice. I think that silage additive really helped with our liter grass count. Is that a right way to put it? On how much grass we got off this field? I guess it's the long way to put it. There's probably a better way to say it, but I think that silage additive does really help. And it also helps, of course, that we plowed up this field and planted grass instead of using meadow grass. That also was a big contributor to bringing up our totals. But I was doing a little bit looking on YouTube, and I know YouTube is, for better or for worse, one of my main resources for getting farming questions answered. And I try to go with, of course, you know, real life farmers. I figured they're the ones you want to talk to, right? And one thing I was looking at was for corn, and for, I guess this would fall into the same boat, silage. Do farmers actually, in real life, man, it's got good brake lights on there, doesn't it? In real life, is this a cash crop for them like this? Do they sell silage? You know, I know that you've got hay farmers that sell hay bundles, and I know that farmers, whether it's their main income or side income, that they do sell bales of hay and straw and grass. I'm assuming that silage is another, so it could be another source of income. I did see that it seems like by the far majority of farmers that, and I guess there's different kinds of corn is where the differentiating fact comes into play with corn, because I was looking at, for like chaff, let's lower our pickup header and turn that on. Because what I was curious about too was, will farmers, with cornfields, what determines what they're going to do with that corn? Do they only do foraging if they have animals with their corn, or do they do it for sale as well? And I kind of got my questions answered by the simple fact that there's different kinds of corn, of course. So you've got, sweet corn and stuff like that. So you've got farmers that plant the kind of corn for humans to eat, or, to go into different, however, foods and whatnot that they go into. And then there's the kind of corn that they would plant to do silage with for animals. And I guess in the game, there is no distinguishment. And I think that would be something, I guess long story short here is, it would be kind of interesting if in Farming Simulator, at some point, if the game not only would bring us, we've got different crop types, but it would be kind of interesting to have different types within those same crops. And I'm kind of actually a little bit surprised to some extent that hasn't happened already, at least from a mod perspective. I know Maize Plus touches on some things with adding, additional different kinds of grass, dryness and things like that. But, instead of just saying, hey, let's plant a field of corn, it might be kind of interesting to have it narrowed down a little bit, be able to say, hey, I want to plant this kind of corn, or I want to plant this kind of corn. And if you plant a certain kind of corn that's not, food for the table corn, that you can't use it, you have to use it differently. You have to either have to forage it for chaff, or feed it direct to your animals. I don't know. I don't know how that would even work, if it would work. Maybe I'm talking out of my hiney, but it would be interesting nonetheless, I guess. At least I think it would be. I'd probably end up getting frustrated over it eventually and regret ever having suggested it, but it's kind of like muddy fields, it seems like everybody wants better ground textures until we get better ground textures, and part of that is tractors getting stuck every 5 minutes in mud, and how frustrating that might get in the game, and you're like, oh man, I wish we could go back to just the regular good old, ground effects to where I never got stuck in mud. It's almost a point of pride to some extent I see on some farmer channels, where they're like, they don't want to get stuck, obviously, because it could be time consuming, but it's almost a point of pride to see how badly you are stuck if you do get stuck. And it's kind of funny to watch some of them how they end up getting their tractors. I'll tell you what, it can get nasty if you get a big old heavy combine loaded up out in the middle of a field, stuck in mud. Yeah, that's no easy feat. No easy feat getting that thing out of there sometimes. I think I was watching that one Canadian farmer that's right on the border there, whatever's just north of Montana there, if it's Manitoba or whatever it is, but he was, they ended up getting, they used multiple combines, and he ended up getting 2 combines stuck pretty much around the same time, and they were badly stuck, like deep stuck. It was kind of interesting too. He was showing the road, the border. I guess it's almost basically it's a border patrol road that separates the edge of his field, one of his fields in Canada, with American soil. And it was basically I think if I remember right, it was just a dirt road. Not like a 2-track, but actually a decent road, but a dirt road nonetheless. And he was showing like where there were cameras along the way where they could see, if you were trying to sneak across the border or something like that. And I think he was telling a story about how occasionally they do get, or they will get involved with authorities who are monitoring the border and do see or anticipate some border crossing. And farmers will, and I guess, I don't know if he said that they, if they're out, if they're out and about and they're doing their thing, I guess they will report illegal crossing. And I think the main reason why he said they'll do that is obviously you don't want to be suspected of helping, people illegally cross the border. I wonder how big of a deal that really is, though. People trying to escape Canada to the United States. I don't know. That doesn't seem like that should be a really big problem. I guess if you're a criminal, I would see maybe that would be the biggest thing, is if you're, if you're wanted, if you're a wanted felon or something, and you want to get out of Canada, you probably don't want to risk, doing it legally if your name pops up on something. I suppose that could be an issue. But, I can't see like this mass exodus of people wanting to leave Canada illegally to the United States. But anyways, it was kind of interesting to listen to him talk about it and some of the past experiences they've had with it. And they'll see a border patrol car drive by once in a while. I guess it's pretty rare though, because I think they do a lot of their monitoring on video, which kind of begs another question. If you see somebody, if you're watching the video cameras and you do indeed see somebody running across the border, I mean, you're not really going to stop them, right? I guess you could get them on video and maybe attempt to find them later or something. I don't know, but it doesn't seem like, I guess in the end of the day, it didn't seem like a very difficult thing if you really wanted to, escape Canada, or vice versa, escape the US and get into Canada. Quite honestly, that seemed like the easiest way to go, if I'm being honest. Like, don't go to the, where I live, your first thoughts would be go up north and and, you know, go through Detroit, you know, the Ambassador Bridge, or the, oh, what's that tunnel? I forget what the tunnel is called now, but skip that, you know, put in some effort, and make a trip over to Montana in the middle of nowhere and cross the border there. Not that I'm encouraging anybody to illegally leave either one of their countries, but give it some thought before you do it, you know. That's a lot of area to cover, and hopefully, you know, you won't get spotted by a farmer before you make it, or you won't get spotted at all. Or if you do get spotted, then it's kind of too late, if I'm being honest, for authorities to do much about it. What am I talking about? I have no idea what I'm talking about. It's like, I don't even know how I get on some of these subjects sometimes. But speaking of illegally crossing borders, no, I don't know. I really got nothing. But for some reason, the movie The Fugitive just came to mind with Harrison Ford. I haven't seen that movie in a long time. Now I kind of want to watch it again. It's kind of a fun movie. I did pick up kind of I watched my last holiday movies, I would say, that I'm going to watch this year. I did end up watching Die Hard, which I know is, some people call it a Christmas movie, some don't. I don't necessarily think it's really a Christmas movie, but it's that time of the year that I usually think about it. So I did end up watching Die Hard, and I watched Die Hard 2, which I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I just wasn't really in the right mood for it, but it didn't hold up. You know, Die Hard 1 is classic. There's a lot of classic lines and things that happen in Die Hard 1. But Die Hard 2 is... it was a struggle for me to really enjoy it as much as I thought I had in the past. I actually think I liked... is it 3 that has Samuel L. Jackson in it? I think so. I actually like the one with Samuel L. Jackson in it, I think, more than I did 2. In fact, I feel kind of confident in saying that's for sure. But I really like Samuel L. Jackson in most things, so that helps quite a bit that he's in it. I thought that one that he's in is funnier. It's kind of funny too. It's got a lot of good kind of comical scenes to it too. I'm gonna see if we can pick up some of these scraps. Maneuver this trailer around a little bit slower and try to not be so loosey-goosey with this. I never worry about being exactly perfect with this stuff. Like, as long as I get the majority, the bulk of it, I'm pretty happy. The rest of it we'll get next time or whatever, you know. Looks like our silage additive, though, is over half gone, so keep an eye on that and make sure we don't run out, because I don't think you really get notified when you run out of silage additive. I think it just runs out and you can just keep right on going. And I was thinking I was going to keep track of trailer loads. Is this number 4? Actually, now that I think about it, the silo was empty, and then we added 3,000 liters of grass that we had left over from the sheep, right? So if we look at, where's our production? Here. Okay. So actually, there's the 3,000 liters from the sheep because it's a 1-to-1. Let's see where we're at when this thing dumps. What do we get? 40,000 liters per trailer load. It's a lot of grass. 240,000 liters. I would say that's pretty accurate. Just around 240,000 liters of grass we've taken off this field so far. Depending on my mood, I actually might maybe get in one more viewing of Christmas Vacation. I just enjoy that movie way too much to only watch it once. And actually, come to think of it, I didn't get Planes, Trains, and Automobiles watched this year. And even though that is more of a Thanksgiving Day deal, I didn't watch it during Thanksgiving break. And I've kind of been having a little bit of a hankering to watch Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. So maybe I'll toss that in the mix here before the weekend's over. Looks like silage additive will certainly last us the entire field. It's kind of handy. We do have some silage additive, some left over on our pallet. Those pallets last quite a while. They're not cheap, but they last quite a while. I think you can go through a lot of grass on one pallet of silage additive, for sure. Hear that thing churning down there. Let's get this field knocked out. Wasn't really planning on doing this, but I'm glad we did. I don't know. I didn't really want to take up the time to do it, but it makes sense from a money standpoint. It definitely makes sense from a money standpoint to get this last cutting in, because we won't get another cutting on this field in until early spring. And there's too much money left on the ground if we don't get it picked up and get it fermenting. Just too much cash left on the ground. Looks like our fermenting silo could use a paint job, a pressure washer and a paint job there. I kind of regret not buying the next bigger size, if I'm being honest with you. Maybe that's something we can do, is we can sell this one and bump up to the next bigger size. I did a lot of last time we did this, I did quite a bit of shifting grass from the storage barn to the fermenting silo, and it would have been nice just to be able to not have to worry about that. It's not that big a deal, but it would be kind of handy to have a bigger silo. And we about got this wrapped up. Yes, indeedly doodly, we do have this just about wrapped up. I say we can grab a couple more little tidbits here on this end, and I don't think I really forgot much down on the other end, I don't think. Let's take a quick cruise around down yonder just to make sure I didn't... I think this one shows up as being somebody else's field. Yeah. Just out of curiosity. If we attack it this way, I think it's not going to matter, but yeah, not going to matter. All right. Let's go drop off, drop off this little bit that we have here. Maybe wash up our trailer and our tractor. Make sure maintenance is good on it. And we're sitting at 283, almost 284,000 liters of... Actually, I think maybe that silage... maybe I'm wrong. We might have had a little bit of silage in there before. But anyways, close enough. Close enough. And we can let that ferment because we'll have a couple, 2-3 months of fermentation time until we sell. So November, October, November, December, January, yeah. So chances are pretty good that 283 can go straight to market. What are you doing here, buddy? You look clean. How's maintenance looking on you? Oh, you're happy. You need to get out of our way, though. Sorry. And let's scooch this guy up just a little bit. Let's take a look at maintenance on him. Oh, yeah, a couple $100 for our tractor. Trailer's 33. There's no way I'm putting 13,000. Yeah, there's no way I'm putting 40-some thousand dollars worth of paint into this. You all know me well enough by now. But we can go ahead and wash up our M8 here. Make it look a little bit, spruce it up a little bit with a wash. And get this chrome washed as well. It's probably gonna be happier. Oh, you can't, oh, you can, okay. Get up underneath there, that pickup head I think would be a place where you'd want to pay careful attention to. The rims. That's looking pretty good. I'll take that. Yeah, that was a good investment. I think that this chrome trailer was an excellent investment for the farm. No doubt. We can just park it right over here. And I think we have, let's take a peek in our barn here real quick. Got some silage additive right here. Let's see, fill up our silage additive. Wow, still some left over too. 26 liters left. Probably enough for one more wagon load after this. And we'll be in pretty good shape. Are you gonna... You don't want to close? No? I wonder if it's because my super strength. Oh, the door doesn't want to close? Why don't you want to close, Mr. Door? closed gate. Maybe I just wasn't standing in just the right spot. All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for this episode of Kubota Farm. I think we are going to be able to skip ahead another month. Next time we're together, we can move on to November. Hello, sheep. We can move on to November and truly start making out with our sales. We've got eggs to sell, probably a load of canola, and then we'll move on to our silage and our wood chips. And last but not least will be wool. I think January, February, March, I think is wool. So thanks everyone again for joining me. Happy New Year. I hope 2023 is awesome for you all. I'm sure it will be. Thanks again for joining me. Subscribe if you feel like it. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. And I will see you back here Monday, back in Kubota Farm in East Vineland, New Jersey. You all take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Do something nice for somebody. And I'll see y'all real soon. Bye for now.